Abusuano pay mame mo akwaba emra kasafidi eso aha solid TV wada woro mabaswa na obmodin na wa subscribe like na wasan a share e de ama foforo wo mu ewo echichi ene benche na anopay ensemo ama kurichi amenso me de bi eba abesumu ene se enche na Dr. Alhaji Mamudu Bawumia eba simpi ni apaso na wokyere se wone obi ewo asem ewo party mu a na se nipa kro ntitiru owo ono ne campaign team ni mu a wasrada emfasa ne pakro no hobufuo emfa enkoto aba mfa ntia namum toaba na fama ono Dr. Alhaji Mamudu Bawumia na woba wobema wo endwumapa aye na nsam oyi a wokaye no enna Kwasi Kwarteng ono abo Kwasi Kwarteng etrese sa chawpei nya de obedi atum ne na waje atum tina ene na de tie sanse yewura Dr. Alhaji Mamudu Bawumia se woni obi wo campaign team ba komu anase wo campaign team so obi wom na wo didi mpanimfo bi atem ankofo no so ewo the same party kro na mu na wontimi enstop sa nipa kro na obeka se wo bi wo party no so wo didi obi atem abonte na so wo mfa nche de a sa chopa no ase wotutu anoma ho na wo de be kire mpanimfo sa anoma abani sa chopa no adanko dada adwe wo mo endi entum ne na waje atum ekina abusua Kwasi Kwarteng akasa
Ken campaign here. The good thing is Ken etima sustaining momentum na 50 January besine. Of course, I mean, the momentum is like a space within the media space and the grounds.
Okay.
Untimi sustain ya to that week we were better of kakra. But in the Ken's case, you know, a mama who say the campaign or running no if we're ready. Na Nyankopon side e wo mo. Obi asebi nipa dodo no akure so say yes on bounce of was the asem which in any event is not even true because now we yonko ba ku bisa radio say candidates of atem. I'm so we do so for atem. So there be na say me go praise we need him so for atem. Enti nipa bi na wono ye bibia enya dey entene. Okay bra Yesu Kristo wura asori dem ha na wono mo sintonto e dey asori dem mo to chacha e dey marketplace or mo to ade on. He rebuked them. And the Ken ade a all year ade a Yesu Kristo yeah some few years ago, about 2,000 years ago, and one also repeat the same. Okay. But we beyond that, and here for Agyapong campaign. I saw for Agyapong campaign.
Okay.
Papa Usu Bempano, Bernard, no more. Of so far Kwasi, and also for Ben or Ghana ha ye Jini Tuma, who be being far Ken say Ken and Yanko the Eba. But the truth is, we are not banking all our hopes on prophecies.
Member horses here, who can be say. Can I do a Agyapong campaign no if Nyankopon?
Yes, divine.
One who be Ghana for any MPP for young who go aspirants no enum and he as a spokesperson who can say Ken Diane dear if Nyankopon wa near patches say
Bono Ghana for emebunu bre na ono esu agu nyame so a ama baby edru ezu hwe manim say esa ama presentation
na some nya ba no afere me
na dey ebu ahwe no asere ase o ka no tim say akoy kasa gege no dem mi kasa hwe me nsere o sira asa mo me kasa edwuma na professional edwuma na me we dey maybe December ya na ekwa atwa ohum na sofo baako ya na obuza mze na Kwasi na school adwane school you know free SHS nwana na ya mo se saye no kwa na se nya no kwa mse open professional answer na say honest answer asi jam Kwasi akeka sofo na net kasa
so quickly yeah why say if Nyankopon
yeah the make can say Ken campaign if Rade say Ghana for mebunu abrabo essay one more is Rade so na Rade etie one more sufre and one more paibo and he can match it but within the same 4 years and 8 years I will be abenya as a president no Nyankopon de Ken ebeye adwuma sonko ama oman no enya ne fa hodie ama mamu ane mabawa no so ultimately live the basic decent life I was say nipa bia etimi de live bono ye mamu ha so me ma just an overview o World Bank who say the election with the data election.
Yeah.
World Bank, one of my estimates say, bear 10 years from now. So, we developing economies to say be Africa, no, any Asia, part of Asia, no, near there. One must say, any pair better Juma, about 1.2 billion. So, Juma bear 1.2 billion, any paper, a move 430 million, maximum bear 430 million penny benny Juma. 800 million of say human and nipa hwehwe no will not exist. Ejuma kro kra enya dey eni ho. Bunu ti asem no. 800 million of say nyuma no kra anya dey anyhow what the ba ye bibrem obi abeka say bi wiase asem nyina na ye dey ye ka nti de emfama ya ye bibrem what the ba Ghana ha one mo say unemployment rate 14%. John Becker say Ghana Statistical Service Becker so yeah unemployment rate here the for babusa ho say one mo ye adwuma no no ye kind of crash ho pa how do they survive because the same Ghana Statistical Service and World Bank Becker say Ghana for mo ye adwuma 80% one mo salary no 3,000 na 3,000 bunu kan oh high ban say single room ye say ti mo am wo mamienu wo mamiensa no oh ebi also call officially non officially nyina ye dey how do you survive no what to petrol na sebio ubobonsa ayi ebeba weekend mebo obekọ yi asoro obekọ obetwa tight obeto aduane so ye dey edi wutimi se krum ha dey is either we are magicians or we are doing something yeah intimi nkan okura ye dey enkanto enti dey corruption ni ade nyina ye dey eba now let's look at the remaining 20%. The remaining 20% no Ghana Statistical Service wonu kwa dey omu live in abject poverty ndi ema emu ete ha no nipa bibinya kakra ma omonsa ko man ko ehu omonso mo ye de escafo
okay
why because say the basic necessities of life ema nipa bia enya nkankro ema nipa bia ntimi nsanko na no enya de kese bia obo no say wo timi wa okuro mu ha bo no so ye adwuma 10 years 5 years na opeka also timi ye de etobi so ye adwuma 15 years na no ye mu kama katu ebuma na se fie kura wo se mutimi ye de etobi no ye ema mu he binya de anyha ade ye basic obia ma e binya de anyha. So I've read other statistics and other researchers. One must say, in Korea national service, a batch or more national service, no, it takes a minimum of 10 years for half of that national service batch to get job. Other half will still be still searching. The other statistics say, grad 12 years could be a 12 2 pen or man bit more ejuma.
Let me say
10 yes, your life will literally say. So nti abrabo en fatane normal people taking advantage, especially because no say koyo babuna eno na ekoso ya ya memu ha. Nti baby ya edru memu ana isu. Maba wa na isu. Enne nkane no omo ton mo maame no mo nsase a ne aton no dey apply school no dey kwata bochi. Enne kana dey apply kwa ya dey yemfa. And then more apply, me say my one be apply no school no apply kwa nya for because abrofu so hu say omo ba enye school bi no mbe ye de ombeko o be baby adwane for odu na school no agya no ahya se etwi uba nti omo so cry because a lot of people are just on the street out tiaboche so on tiaboche so nti na me na etie ni pesu friend no ka cham say no Kennedy why be pen akoma ekura Kennedy ene tema Kennedy ewo and the experience awanya ewo nwuma biebie mo the track record say bunu biebie nwuma nipa at his own level for the time or say ABC in there our track record say we're in the employment list or employ more than 7,000 people and the companies at the personal level they were timaye na adwe nyina na say entrepreneurship no can say Asian model ade Kennedy be ade simple pay he's not really coming to do any magic. Kennedy for instance say Zoom Lion to me for 10,000 workers what Kennedy is coming to do is say or be create Zoom Lion makoma konkwa 1,000 and this will be half any part 10,000 ehonu ko eze intwa mu 1 million workers unemployment da sonti se mamu ane maba o munya adwuma yo mbetwa tax enye no de be road eyi yakwan de hospitals nti Kennedy ni nyina nyame de ne ba abebi enwuma ama Ghana fo ayede enya biaye nyame de Kennedy ba abebi enwuma ama party fo ayede enya biaye no was a Kennedy and the star no he has always been advocating for more for na self on omo no come as a mom ndi hwe election ya ekoya obitu bi say asem panimfo no gina Dr. Bawumia chi and a former for no say dey ejina Kennedy no kre obi kasa ontin because panimfo no dey omo na ne Dr. Bawumia buy for the past 16 years omo na our party ni mu a control no ma nti obi asebio wakwate wedi a wo ye de de wo ka che so mepa ne nsasa ya na edion omo ba koso ya de ejana chi na former for na wonu ba hu wo a de bia de sa omo ho na de so omo na bi ha ebi kura tese bi nsofo mpo no wakode wo katama ya de afa bi ya de edin because ayi de ama no you know mfa say you know adena tuano wo ni wo no tenten nti eguma ebi kura nhwie mu no bi de afa
Kwasi critics ka say factual you I may ask hard questions but
yes
to erase certain misconceptions into allow me to ask those critical questions. Critics ka say omo follow Kennedy wo hene Agyapong no feel say omo di Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia echi no a lawyer for kukudamfo a bankers kukudamfo egoye kukudamfo enti ye kodi na chi kura no a sabi o we ne kura ye nya ba bi enhye sa pepepe neti ana.
I don't think that is the case. Ohe Kennedy so akrati food na tipa. Ohe memu aje Kennedy adwuma ya. Lawyers nkwan. One young professor bi, Desiree, onu nyina o ahyasi ha. Onu nyina kan ho. Young boys. We say before no the last elections or koye no. Akoye say yes on the face value na e appear sir because na establishment candidate was DMB and there are no two ways about that. The establishment candidate when na party for twetru do for ni nyina de but say na ekoda na ya wonu hu say no. Ya mfa kena ma ya ho be che bi e ntimi win the general election 2028 no. Yenka so bi ntimi win election MPP mu. But we are saying say if the conversation is 2028 there can stand tall than any other person. A lot of them have switched. Sister can go near her. Kwarteng one fine brain. Charles Horse no mo near her. I mean the list can go Jojo Rocky no mo ene omunyina. So mo ye fine young men mo niade. Me to say me so me emranim ni. Me nwa kobi amo Professor Desiree no mo niade a me boy. Nti say no de na wo hwe nkofo kwa wono matedin a omo pese omo be kasa. Say no entesa, but you see every obia election is a matter of strategy. Obia baby na ho de the ewo. We Dr. Bawumia na image our build here say oye kratini a say one de bia I mean that elitist pusher meboa. But ken so ho de our building is one de okase off oni obi oni bia asem ye de ema no. Enti enye very odd so be hu say a phone for na bia ohunu so omu nyo bia no omu de di kan ye de echi because from the one omu na what is or come ntokwa ye de emom ken no ehunu say esro for no di ne bia munya bi ne on de ontwe mo ase ofo no be kama asema ye de amom nti ordinarily he will build the base there.
Okay.
And a doctor no so no say ono so de na koye ye economic lecture ye checha de mu so ye ko ha ye ma o so bia ba ku ya na so de say the rich ideas o so ono so de na koye say the middle class the class of people.
Yeah.
But baby to me no a form one a cell phone sovereignty resides in the people a phone for the Hona Kennedy no way there we go no a phone ni.
Okay.
So from a send on Kusku and na CC for man nyamia pejano abe private businessman no oboa no okunu ka party asem no okun party for ntokwa mo we build a support base. So when people say that they are not entirely wrong, but context is also very important.
So from where you sit, you think say Honorable Kennedy wa hini Agyapong and lead party no a bad day say party between recapture power 2028.
No correct. The entire makers are say. We say MPP ya wabakosem. So ya bakosem nyina no. Wo hwa fiti edubu ahen eba opani uti ni fiti edubu ahen ba besi Dr. Bawumia so no. Obi a wanya kwanya asom MPP bia no. Ayo obi a yevosu no especially call first time no. Otimi di biye de account. And you Professor Dubois here. Ono kra no in spite of Sabre Rollins e hunu anomo ne ade nyina. Unso onya 30% to 30.29%. Oh. Or call ye no a chief president Kofo by obe contest and President Kofo de call 30 from 30 no e de call 39%. Now from President Kofo 39% no so President Kofo de call so ba ono so be far from 39 de call 49%. So the first time no President Kofo de call de obi free office call de okoya e di votes no ekoya to about 6.7 million votes.
Okay.
But o share in the history of MPP Dr. Bawumia nkwa na ho de no ye you hear graph na cost no nkwa na dey above from. And I mean records and the facts also on the data mind ya na ka watch data. Me ma data na ma background why I think I can a bit my about no. Election call no in 2024 no. Out of 16 regions no. When him say move 15 regions MPP declining in votes compared to 2020. Oh, yewo me no ka say yewo 9 regions na yewo no out of 98 parliamentary seats no. And this woman 93 you move 5 pe. Ti asem ni yo. Nti ye baby e gina no enye baby eye papa o. Ye 4 regions squad here ye ni parliamentary rep. Ye wo nipa close to 400,000 over 345,000. Ono mo kotoma parliamentary candidate no. Omo bi no mo hwe presidential candidate ni ye dey etutia no. Ye nka say ono Dr. Bawumia no ye dey wakoso. But sometimes you can be in a certain circumstance na yes obetwe ho ye dey esinchen.
But we say Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia ka say the data. But then you so the data go up how.
I say say data election here running. Just say a data election here running. Oh, 100 and election choir no. It was 276 constituencies. 276 constituencies no. When say John Mama winning 199.
Okay.
199. Dr. Bawumia lose 199. Joshua nipa constituencies no the rejection rate was about 72% rejection rate.
Wow.
Nti election e ko yen election say oh yakwa na party na anya de anya de. It goes beyond party na anya de anya de. It also shows say e be the popularity of the candidate e be at the ko yen so
honanka council facha me honanka me ba ne say
yes
MPP as a political party ne lusu ya na say the candidate no a wo frontier lead MPP and the party ne lusu ya.
The popularity of every candidate counts. What I say? The popularity of every candidate counts. I remember example, President Akufo-Addo. Okay, 2016 or there by 2020, they are accusing this work banks. 2016, from 2016 about 2020 election, they are accusing this work banks. They are accusing this work galamse. So okay, but yes, still, the voter share equals more than time about 2016 election where they own. So over 5.6 or 6.7. So it should say sometimes a candidate matter. If a candidate doesn't matter, there, now saying about obey. If it is a party, there is the same party now. But President Akufo-Addo who then any munyam, any GD, the trust, the confidence that people have in his personality, and the credibility and all about their man. The whole party slogan was even revolved around him. To the sense, say, can say 4 more for Nana. Meanwhile, Nick Bitmark say 4 more for MPP. Do ni minipa ni bukura so o ka MPP anya no so MPP de Akufo-Addo na appointees na anya dey amoa no ba Akufo-Addo dey oyade. So it was na nice popularity and the year dey ekoi. But in the case of the Bawumia, anya say bia oye ni paboni o. But don't say penifo kura ka say enso kura cha etu me dey ehwa. 32 years of having been in the party no. Emu 16 years na wanya kwanya dey asom. Nti nipa no bi susu say nimde ne adwen poni ahoden ne bibia wo som nyina within 16 years there. Well lead the party they what my day ayewi tinipa no so ye kwa na dey ginan. For instance, e be as nipa to tier party on the ground on the basis of economy. It is not a case say wo economy no be na wo vice presidential candidate na economy na onya dey onka ho boniti asem you because on the for instance on the economy no Mahama the dollar no e ba 1:4 meboa na wo ade a wo ko school ekosua ho nimdia enim se wonim ho nyansa eye ho PhD wo Canada eye the economy oba na may not even be you but circumstantially no na around by 17 4 to 17. How then do the people look into your face? Someone who any catch say, well, 17 was better than John Mahama. Even as a matter of strategy, no, sometimes even better say any sadia. Okura no say woo, say woo. A mojina and chenye mo before and go from facade nenya de enche no edne nim kwa yede. And 16 years ago, the ideas be a will be away the way. And if you say. The party ni hire bia wo mu ni adodode bia na bia mo so no ngrofo wa yede onya bi de saade a ebi ko aka mo twem ho mo obi so yede e ba ya nke no so be de ebe yi nti it's not really about say bia Dr. Bawumia no nkofo ta na na say he just say a poor candidate no but sometimes even the circumstances around him no e bibia ni nipa be de ebe yi no now compared to Ken
okay
say Ken dey nkofo ginidi. So now me show be or say one presenter or say Dr. Bawumia is not a liar. Me wo GDS Dr. Bawumia onya trofo. But what was the circumstances around that election? The circumstances around the 2024 election, that was the image they portray about him. So no be oyede or bia or kasem oyede or this so. And the people break cancer ayede man. In that circumstance, no so election now candidate wa build the trust and credibility and kofo oyede ejinidi. It's what Ken your kanokre. Ken your kanadwen. Ken the oya onye dey onchema Ken the wa kokodru hwe na no aye akoya blekuma no for aye dey ekoyi so na blekuma no for ekoyi just 19 police station kofo koye dey kochifa yesu people started talking say Ken park as ad be Kenya dey ensi nti what we are saying is say abibia ni leader nyankopon ye dey eyiniba after 16 years and all over the world there was even a poor strategy only 3% of vice president penalty associate your boss all over the world. Yes, so we're going into that election. Says we are not saying say onye any papa, but what we are saying is that wabasum and on the dia 16 years ago they also be aware. Sometimes even in the spirit of revival, you need a new face. Okay. Say your question. Oh, maybe your presby. Ungo be down. Maybe go presby. You'll be a friend of revival and Kenya some. Yeah. So that it means first of all go free different dioceses the near day. Yeah. And this be a also for no but when matter ma familiarization that the album and to what only nti then mo bi ba no abeye de Kenya mo nti saa no mani nyina de ewo ho but now no bu aso wo hwe yesi Kennedy say ba mi ofre yesi Kennedy bi o mo so Kennedy ano asem ene ade na mail so election ni ade na be entesa we see there comes a time where we need to own up to responsibilities near kind of criteria who say achia ne mui by the senior bebonina. The see no ankoi, but I take ultimate responsibility and I'll fix it. That's what we have to do.
But as a spokesperson for Kennedy Wahine Agyapong, when you say you're part of the MPP Lucy 2024.
I reject that. I mean, someone Joe. And when I'm me offer or say chairman Sabonso. I feel you say, who's almost starting almost Kennedy and you Lucy. I mean, someone Joe. Kennedy started aside from a Dubois Hembro. Sir, one of the idea of accused Kennedy pass or friend people from Kwasi for and then this is for boy. Marine Kancho kind of 2015. And the bra, Mia Penny Gabia Sarache Dako. And that's Antibidi to President Akufo-Addo Safuma for Mokwe meeting Okufodia party ni a record one family MPP station. No, the record koma a pro NDC station, more day, a coboy. Nankade, a how can see a better Sante for the action for the entem. Kennedy ni sika na ye party who na ye ya no sinipa se bi wage me from kwan na be yes ade adewi in that contest say sim the year 2015 no 2015 no sa Bernard no kan impa we living within a certain context no omo no patch say 2015 ntimi ama Akufo-Addo lose 2016 but now ma 2024 mom na Dr. Bawumia be de be lose it can be logical ti asem no bono say Kennedy anum asem Kennedy enipa onye saint what you say and no money be wo ha yebehunu so ke bi o kan se na o kan se ke be de beboa but no man no say Kennedy ke kan ya may lose election bono DDP Kennedy na ko kan ho asem DDP ne Kennedy na ko kan ho asem sa na kofo ya be 2 years ya ntwe mo kai eno Kennedy na ko kan ho asem ne Kennedy na ko kan ho asem galamsey fight ya na atwetwere yebu ya na ho asem kan be ya de Kennedy na ko kan ho asem ne Kennedy na ko kan ho asem so there are a lot of factors that affect here when the dollar move from 4 to 17 you know abuso kan fusu obi esu ordinary people so petrol near tutum no Kennedy anwasem de kokan ene Kennedy anwasem so I don't think say we should maneuver the truth and run away from it say because Kennedy is all contesting all of a sudden anwasem na anwasem na me lose election there then he should as well be a very powerful person but no money be high yakika kan as a party anya de anko yi anya de ama ye ho yen fanche ho adwebro and me bono no kre om say sansom wi nyina no if say asase na no Kenya Dr. Bawumia na no say obepa achewi asase na no gina mu ka say me na modem ko akon no me na me di animu de tie bia say ko you say anya you I take responsibility enya Akufo-Addo na anya we enya Gabi na anya we enya Kennedy na anya we enya Dutum na anya we say de nipa bia wa anya ne bibia ye kura me na me di akon ne me ne nipa wa re o me di akon ne ntini nyina me dwotum adwebro mo mfa nche na de aka nyina be kan hu oboni aye ni am sure say ke ndru ho senke ye shase sa akura ka enya de ke ndru but the koba say ye tu fu amu kura na
ni sa a chopa no Kennedy Wahine Agyapong hu ni say a right step na Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia will take you so be patrol say party na nya de nti o mo mfa ncha na because onobo Dutum ababonte ne abetu ga say wo panacho a won panacho because enye sector via na ahode
I think say timing na de be patrol na ma chopa no aye questionable nipa nim bebre be so say say nye genu na wo tena ho ye to aba wie ne
Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia a chopa na nye genuine apology
time no emma no nye genuine emma no susu say genuine o ko pay your news card o go in time no say na me ka say kedikan na wo hwe ya o hwe kan ho asema but don't say dikan no now it was more of a blame game. Okay, say you call thank you to Onmo Yesa Akufo-Addo, you to petrol no nim ni ade chi almost Kennedy Agyapong the course so you defeat. E check almost say Kennedy Agyapong anu asem. We say it went here, it went there. But I'm saying say ka obi a o kan ntemo a Kennedy Agyapong be there ebeba. But when ebeka be 3-4 months election, na be ga say o pa acha dia. Eno de nipa ni bi so say bia ni acha o pa o pa no. Wo mo ebe hu se bia nye gini. But I mean whichever we say is better late than never. Also pacho or pacho say depending be a church or madre say na no me nwa pani Gabi ono so che na adwen ye de ewo ho me so obi a che na adwen ho nti wo hwa chopa na enye party fo ni bebre na ne hwe ye mpacho a chopa ni mu no emma obi anya impression say obi foforo na aye bone na enti na wo pacho no that's not how we do it ye pacho to take responsibility ti asem ni yo
me chopa
ye pacho to take responsibility ye mpacho to apportion blame Patriotic, assembly you partial to take responsibility. We don't apologize to apportion blame.
But apportion blame, na.
Oh, say background no ho. wo hwɛ nsɛm a akɔ so a we na yɛ sei we na minim aha na menyɛ sei aha na menyɛ sei a so asɛ nkofo bi susu sɛ ne campaign yi kɔ fam a wo sɛ campaign no what say ato zoom campaign ya to zoom na ma asɛ sa achopa na yɛ de eba but I mean whichever way so e penny also pa acho ayate ya de mpa bota na chi
right, Kwasi, but who say critics ni be me so critics are you understand it from where you are coming from. Critics ni be can say MPP can say chinchina chin akani and say yedene ba a dangerous ma MPP 2028. Obi ti say honorable say chairman sabunsu ordinary notum say e be unfair say yenya sremni famanu siye na waba baako ne ebeka se yi na si nchen ne de akani aba because akani de wokufo ba ye mpremienu mampanyi na nado ba ye mpremienu nti den ne bedru and den be bedru Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia so a ye beka so akoba akwa anye yi a ye mfa no ensi nchen issue ne ye akani sremni ana awunani ana bununi ana issue ne ye den Kwasi Kwarteng
mono no kure se sa asem no se nye video na me hwe ya ka min ndisa nda se honorable say chairman sabons na yede e kan mo se ono no ebuo kwan so no ba bia me de no toto no e wo soro pa o e party pani pa nti nseni bi wo ha bia it marks divisive comments not to men's words nseni bi wo ha nya asema e de nkabom yede eba e de papamu entity mu ne papamu na yede eba. Ordinarily, you would have expected say, and go be cranka, no munya day. Entry na adwin so say sa same way enya de yenka. But no mamu so asemo. Last election say call ye no. Na kanfo ni wona Dr. Bawumia to abaye de hema no. Ase wono mo koye kra ma na yesi say there it's almost criminal to be an akan. Eh, na ho na yesa. Last election call ye na kanfo ho. Ana ye nyina ebo mu kwoto abaye de ema Dr. Bawumia because at that brand no me hu say on na betime di party na nima de ede yakọ. But bono masema me woka we asem we hu ne etiawa masema me woka nyina na say party no ye hia obi a obetimi a winnable candidate candidate obetimi age akohia na ye de amaye somebody who can win 2028 for us. We need a winnable candidate. We don't need a candidate because of his ethnicity. Ye hia winnable candidate and not necessarily an account candidate. What I say? Indeed, no many people why didn't papa muninji mu ba.
And from when you are coming, mu de nya kan sem.
No, you hear me about candidate. No, me say last elections, no. Last elections, no. Ntina kanfo no ne to abama sremni. Say MPP say only about a sremni ni akanfo asama. We are not fighting. We are not competing for anything. O mani nye sremni ne die so. So this answer na say can anytime bia no we use it as a weapon near the incite one people against the other no nya de hu ye de ehia se see awo ka se kwan bia ye hia esemuni indirectly that's what he say you know nkofo so aka bono nkofo so aka say bia semuni efiri ho a wo de another semuni ba bia Ghana for nye de enyini nti bi na no yante say bright champion starting the campaign ka say achimni kwa achimni ye nye de ema enti wo kaka saa na nkofo eso kode de sansensem ne yi wa no a ene na ma saa politics of division tribal and ethnic policy near the eba. And to really no Sebio or say chairman sabons or your penimu Agyapong. Your senators are divisive comments no and the remarks unyai air the eka. Then PP is more interested in getting a winnable candidate. Dr. Bawumia is saying na bono yanka say Dr. Bawumia because he's a bia an ordinary. No. We are saying say the performance the track record of their course election yet ne could be a more party no. Be a party in the MY, won't mean to mean the MIA. We just want a strong candidate, not an account candidate. We want a strong candidate, not a northern candidate. We don't care maybe any party the free. All we need is say nipa kwa rebano or the more do bit my de ajitumi ede amaye. The sakasa na kasa boni bekase. I mean it's fit for discussion and it's fit to come from somebody of his status. No.
Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia ba bontin dia betu dwa say se kasa ne suma wosom Sebi manu de sumina so. Adi aya me pese me ka ho asem yesa no ma we but enkomodie nti ni nkomo. Se ne suma wosom e ka ho bi na e ma MPP lusu ya na sebi woni bi mo critics enya adwen because or outperform me 236 Christian MPP parliamentary candidate PC for and is a mo ka say we enkramoni nti Ghana for anto aba ma no a
First of all, my answer in two stretch, and I want to be on record. The way my main candy, I'm sure the show is ending. First of all, Obien who are Kasa or Muslim untina or lose elections, and I'm not sure Obetima pointed to anybody with such an evidence as Messi and Oben and Kabisa. It's speculative.
Okay.
Secondly, that logic in our advance, and of course, the example I will borrow to sustain his argument, and it's faulty. It is not true. Say, or for more 236 candidates. Patriotinio. Just a fleeting comment and fleeting analysis. No, they will make it. And not true. 236 candidates, he didn't outperform them. Do you know why? The whole 276 candidates, our file, 89 pe. They are now outperform more 236 candidates. Now, let me give you the trust of the matter. The 236 candidates no mere Christians. It is not a case say they were contesting with NDC Muslim pieces. NDC has also found 215 Christian candidates. So the Christian candidates that were competing for the pieces, they were 91%. And the other the Christian candidates are competing among themselves, assuming without admitting say religion is an issue. Effectively, religion will not be an issue because we are Christian and now we are PC and I'm NDC and I'm Christian and I'm PC and I'm MPP. There wouldn't be anything as religion. Now TBO, I didn't know that Bawumia or didn't compare presidential candidates, I didn't compare the own pieces. Is he contesting them? You are not contesting your own pieces. What I say, we own parliamentary candidates. How do you compare yourself to them? We opponent John Mahama. He's a Christian candidate. And if you want to play religious cards, you compare yourself to John Mahama. And then the parliamentary candidates then compare themselves to the parliamentary candidates. On what basis na presidential candidates will compare who to be parliamentary candidates? And that the parliamentary elections, what the elections and the presidential elections and Japan. Parliamentary elections and presidential elections are not the same. Factors that influence parliamentary elections and they're the same as factors that influence national elections. My more example, also they be offer in team for Joe, Reverend team for Joe, so Reverend team for Joe cry or ye Christian Poko or so for cry, but there were other dynamics that cause war. Reverend team for Joe, he had an independent candidate. What is that about Miaka Wazemla? And then the one for Ankahu. What I say, so the parliamentary elections are local elections. In any event, 91% of them that were contesting were all Christians, both MPP and NDC. In the other now, who compare and contest already, they were both Christians and there was nothing like religion at the parliamentary level. What I say? And so even if people are accusing you, say, religion can affect you at the national level, the best comparison for Dr. Bawumia to do, so the people will not accuse him for maneuvering data and making fleeting analysis should have been so on comparing him to John Mahama and not to his own pieces because he was not contesting the pieces. This is our logic, I mean, from the data man, I'm surprised. Unless of course he will be the AC. But let me make a correction. Let me make a statement. It is not to suggest to say, be a can say he was affected by religion. Babuno, no crane say any part that's any TV. A lot of factors affect our behavior, including voter behavior. We are affected by our tribe, our environment. What I say, Bebu how Aribu ha Usebu Hong Kobida. Boy, Uncle Ega Unte say Kwarebuza. There was Sumbu ha, Wabusia Okomo Maunya the Unkomuda. It affects us. And if you want to be sit here and be dismissive about it, maybe we may try two Muslim candidates from the same tribe in the north. Near Fan collection, maybe we will still want to experiment. What I say. Let's be very frank to ourselves. One the Kobo Panetia or then you're right out and Mbappe or right out to the left in the Kobo. Who does that? NDC for almost set a trap on my end. You can't change this for say so almost pass ante for sema or munko fa santini on flabera. You can't almost pass ante for sema or munko fa santini on flabera. Near here almost election but some of account for. Omo no so mo pack and for nyina asem omo pass ante fast so mo do account for do asante for won mo nkokum asenko for bi nyom flabera party ayato about 1592 MPP Asante region to MPP voter region to NDC. Why do you say this is influence here? What does it? I mean
it play key role.
It plays a role, but you see we've learned to live harmoniously with each other. Intenya dia we want to promote, but we cannot pretend say now that Dr. Bawumia why campaign one tell oka say who refuse oka say John Mahama ninya no na no beko 4 years na ono wo chance ko 8 years na say the John ba 4 years another not the ntimi maybe. These are comments that were made. One day oka say okọ obenya zongo votes aba What I say? The day you because we don't want these people to accuse us say and lordness I the asem. The other now could be say be a you to clear certain perception. Then after the election, such perception automatically cannot be discussed.
And to me, pretend this ethnicity in play role.
We can deceive ourselves that ethnicity and religion doesn't play role. But I'm saying say ethnicity and religion influences voter behavior and it influences everything. Ebia there could be circumstances beyond that. But to catch them say, yeah, this is here take. Hey, what VIP station da?
Okay.
What VIP station? Bus is 102. One would driver need them on bomb passing a ministry and driver on Waku Square train is a driver. Yes, in a ministry and in free and on some Holy Spirit meditation for Monko. We are people of religion. So why are you pretending to yourself say religion doesn't affect us, religion doesn't does anything? Mamisha young girl, we call her out here. So be a on your religion. I'm going to assure him sometimes I saw crying. You know, Christopher. Would you got also yes, the new year presby, no arena, the bush of the emperor.
Different denomination.
Different denomination can be a Christopher. And nobody is punishing him so you're cremonintia. No, that's not what we are saying. But if he wants to advance an argument to say religion and ethnicity has an influence in voter behavior, if you want to do a pure academic exercise there, then I disagree with him. And especially in the example, come and say, or 236 Christian in pieces, let him know say that he was not contesting the 236 Christian pieces. He was contesting John Mahama. And that 236 Christian pieces in Kwano, their opponents, 215 of them were also Christians. So there was nothing like religion that played at the parliamentary level. And so that argument is null and void. Wait, data near you. It's that data when now you're not so, or did that about matter more than no, or the bar, me and discussing. Intellectual community, you discuss it.
That's all you better say. But final question, I know a very hard question, and I wish it's on because you're too early. Kazo.
Obi the message be about now.
Sir, Kennedy or Agyapong, to me winning Nami Yadum 31st January 2026. Obe pese. Obefa Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia as running mate. Mimi Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia made a question back over Bakukum, you know. Every day, 31st January 2026. Now, Wakasa Wafa Kennedy as running mate. Obepese, Oben running mate. Simple question here, sorry.
I think that decision is at their level. Now, they are two responsible adults. I to make such decision. But inside the way, so be our vision. Oh, it's not really about.
But you as a spokesperson,
maybe sure say no. It's just really about getting a position. Keko, vision that they want to come and implement.
Okay, but so and vision also contribution very important.
And you know that about me as advice. I'm an you want to be that. Okay, as best I advise you, and you be advice 8 years or say, and maybe we know him. No, okay, as command advice be over. I think his vision he can well implement it as the president of the country.
Because not the vice.
Maybe the future will decide, but I am so convinced that he can implement it as the president. Or me sure vice or so bit my.
Man, I say, and I know you be man here me fair, which is a me bo abaso.
Yes.
And about two me sorry and me call page. We are no opposed to Dr. Alhaji Mahmood Bawumia. Keep it up.
Me penasemo na me penasemo but I say 2020 we know I boss no cost pa me penasemo na say 2028 na me susu say no de na ho de no ko onye statement no mfa nimde no we so rich ideas ba oh we say rich ideas na ko the touchy special experience ni ade no aha me de me ogide say doctor na nkasa kra de ko nya ko obepen ba bia atra na we say to da stakeholders interested parties no. Oh, ne Germany yodo. Na say the agro for so if you and you can be who dey go. Oh, aye ya o 20 busa say be e kwa do nim be e ko. Adane.
Madam, we any ensamo a yewra Kwasi Kwarteng wode etu dwa ya wotre say a chopo say nya chopo Kennedy akompre ko Agyapong ene bedi nkunim enti na chopo a wopa no wohwe na wompa ne yi isansa abronye ene chema wontumi ene mpanifo bi a womo eka ho edi party na bro party no womo di party nya papa enti no wohwe na wontutu na namo emfansi ebusua aha ɛyɛ solid tv wada wo maba so a na wa subscribe like wo wia na wasan ahye ɛde ama afoforo a wɔn ɛwɔ ekyirikyiri ɛne bɛntie wei ɛyɛ wura Kwasi Kwarteng ɛnsɛm a wɔkan yɛ mpatro wɔn ne adwen a na watrɛ wo num asɛm ɛde ato comment section wɔ ɛde ama yɛ wo wia na wasan ɛne afoforo a wɔn wɔ ekyirikyiri nso akyɛ na bibia ayɛ kama kama. Midin ɛde ɔdoma nkombo na Kofi wada ama from Asante Gudi.